My name is Hazal Özlen, and this is my story.
Hello, storytellers. Welcome to another episode to Tales We Tell. It's a storytelling podcast focused on the stories that matters the most, your stories. Every episode, guests from all walks of life join us to share the journeys that define them, the people who impacted them, and anything else that is important to them. Some of the stories may put a smile on your face, while others could make you shed a tear or two. But above all, we hope that listening to these stories can positively impact you in any shape or form, even just a little. This episode, I have the pleasure of welcoming Hazal!
Hello!
Welcome. How are you doing?
Great, thank you for having me. Really exciting.
Thanks for accepting to be on this show. Quick intro. So you do user research in the gaming industry.
Yep.
Now at a company called Fortis Games.
Correct.
A master's of psychology.
Yep.
Crazy cat lady.
Of course.
World traveler.
Aspiring to.
Food enthusiast.
We can say that, yeah.
And then last but not least, my worst ex-coworker.
I am really proud of that title.
I thought you'd be mad at that.
No.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, it's been a while. How are you doing?
Great.
I haven't seen you 2 months?
Yeah. It's been a while. It's weird to not talk to you daily, honestly.
Oh.
It's been a while. We worked together for almost 3 years. That was nice.
Was it though?
It's on record.
It's on
We're
record?
live.
Okay.
We can't, David.
Because the right joke inside the company is that you always wanted to kill me.
Well, you can enjoy their company and want to kill them. People can have multiple emotions, I think.
I don't think that's a normal emotion.
Well, our relationship is not normal, I guess.
Oh. Why am I attracting weird people like you?
You might start asking questions to yourself, David. sorry to break it.
Oh, God. All right. Let's get it started. So, Hazal, what's your story?
I knew this was gonna come, and I was trying to be prepared.
I gave you a guide.
I know. That
one
was
week in
good
advance.
guide. I know. So I'll start from the beginning.
Yeah, start from childhood. There you
Yes,
go. I'll guide you a
exactly.
little bit.
I am Turkish. I was born in Istanbul. I grew up there, and then around age, I think 13, we moved to another city, Izmir, on the coast side. I did my high school there, had lovely friends. I would still love to go back and live there. It's an amazing city. Would recommend anyone to travel there as well too. And then after high school, I was looking options. So I went to French high school actually. So I was thinking about going to France because I always wanted to study abroad. And then I heard about McGill, which is like French English together, best of both worlds. Quebec, we love it. Proud to be a Canadian now. And then I just ended up in university here. It's been 11 years since then. Did my undergrad, did my master's, and start working in the games industry. Met my partner here, have my beautiful 2 small kitties that I found on the street as well too.
More on that later.
Oh yeah, that's one of my favorite stories. Let me go into detail. But yeah, so been here since. And
what
yeah.
was coming to well, you said McGill's the reason you came here.
Yeah.
Was that the main reason? It's McGill, the school, that attracted you here, or was there something else in the Montreal/Quebec culture that you really want to experience, or was that really a school decision, a school-driven decision?
I think 75% McGill and 25% Canada. My parents were thinking to move abroad when we were in high school, so we were considering Australia and Canada because Canada, everybody knows Canadians are nice. Everybody's immigrant here, so it's super multicultural. It's accepting in that kind of sense. So that was one of the things that compared to other countries, it's more welcoming. So that was the plus size. But I never been to Canada before I arrived for McGill. So it was just a blind decision. But McGill was really prestigious in psychology. The profs were really good. School and the schedule in general was super interesting. And I see myself like staying here and doing a lot of work with the school and seeing myself like being, because my original plan was academia. So being part of the school in general. So that was, I would say McGill was the main reason, but Canada has an effect on it.
Is there alternative reality where you would have stayed in Turkey?
No, the alternative universe, I am in Lyon. I actually got accepted there. That was my second option. So if I didn't, like, I applied for York and UFT as well too, University of Toronto.
Yeah.
But I don't think I would have gone to there. I would probably go to Lyon and study in France.
So that's interesting because, when you first introduced yourself, you said you're from Turkey, blah, blah, and it seems like you really want to stay there. But ultimately, you're like, I got to get out of here.
It's a different mentality, Like, Turkey is amazing, like, country in general, but it's really difficult to live. As a woman, it's difficult to live. And also, in general, when you're doing psychology or research, the fundings and everything is really money oriented in that kind of, it's an economy that is really different, and there's no room for new research and new psychology kind of aspects for my view. And I think my mindset was not perfectly fitting well with Turkish people. So I always thought like living abroad, that was a dream that I have to achieve. Like, I didn't know, like, for example, alternative university that we're talking, the one in Lyon, Hazal, I don't know if I would stay. I was considering to move back to Turkey when I was in my second year in McGill too, because like there's difficulties that you face, and that was always an option to go back. I was not like breaking the bridges there. Like, I was always thinking to go back, but I don't think my age, like 18-year-old Hazal, would have stayed in any scenario.
Okay. And you talk about think of going back at some point. That's interesting because like I always, like, from talking to people I know, like, I always felt like moving to a different country in your teenage years is the hardest of any other age group, because you're at the age where you've made a bunch of, let's say, lifelong friends.
Yeah.
And old enough to basically start your life wherever you're living, and then you had to start all over coming to Canada. Did you start over? Like, did you have any relative here / friends?
No one.
Okay, so you came here alone?
Yeah, like my parents came with me to drop me off and then left like a week after. I know.
Okay, yeah. So you basically came here alone.
Yeah.
So talk to me about that. Like, how was it in your first 2 years, I guess?
I think I am a little different on the general scenario because my parents moved a lot. So when I was growing up, we moved every 3 years almost, like inside the cities, also different cities. So I was used to starting up new friends, and I was easy on that side. Like, my oldest friend right now, I'm thinking about that I still have contact, is like 8th grade. I don't have anyone older than that. Like, compared to Baran, for example, my partner, he has friends when he's like 3 years old. I have no one that's that connected to me, so it's fine for me to start new things. And it was not easy, but I was lucky enough to run into people in my first year here that still I cherish those friendships and keep contact with them.
If you don't mind, what was difficult in those first few years?
I don't know how to explain this, but without damaging my image. But in general, I grew up in a household that was easy for me. So we had help in the house. My mom was taking care of, she was a stay-at-home mom. Like, she also worked sometimes, but not consistently. I didn't know how to cook. I didn't know how to do laundry. I didn't know.
That's surprising.
A lot
knowing
of
you
things.
now, you love cooking.
I know. But
wow.
At first year, I was like literally on FaceTime with my mom every 5 seconds, because like my mom, like I call her like, what do I do? What is this? And like, how do you do this? Those kind of basic stuff. I wish they taught me earlier to like be on myself, like survive and stuff like that. Also, like opening a bank account, dealing those kind of things, or government stuff, because you're an immigrant here. You need to renew your visa. You need to take care of university stuff. Like, everything was so new, and I had no guidance because I'm the first one in my family that study abroad. So there was no help on that end. That was the hardest part.
But looking back, from my perspective, it feels like that was a good experience because now
Oh, that's 100% growth.
now you seem like the total opposite where you're super independent.
Exactly.
From my perspective, obviously.
I agree. And related to that, like I'm considering a move recently in the next year, and I have zero doubts that it's going to be a problem for me because been there, done that, learned about it, and it's made me grow so much. That's like the kind of experience that if there anything challenging and hard at the moment, that also changed my mindset and my shift as well in perspective as well too. Before I was looking at the challenges differently, but now because I go through that experience and reach to this point in my life, that any new and challenge that coming to my life from now on just gives me excitement of like thinking about how am I going to be after this, what kind of a person I'm going to become after all this, and that's like a big shift in my life right now.
And yeah, you're getting ready to shift again.
Yep. Coming up soon.
I guess I'm sure I know the answer. Montreal or Canada or Turkey?
Honestly,
okay. I did not expect the hesitation there.
I am thinking about it recently, but I think I want to get old in Montreal. Like I love Turkey. I would love to go there as a remote worker and just like enjoy time there, but also I think I got so used to the life standards and safety and calmness here, your personal, like everything's so easy that I want to grow old here. Like if I start a family, for example, in the future, I might consider doing it here. Like those kind of things are easier, I would say, here.
Okay.
So depends on the context, both.
Okay. I'm gonna guess a lot of people in your situation where, well, because McGill is a hub of international students. Any tips you would give them, or anyone who's thinking of not just McGill but like going anywhere to
That's a good question.
as an international student?
I would say they should get comfortable being with themselves. That will be easier because I think one of the mistakes that everyone does in that social circle is you need human interactions, and you decided to be friends with everyone closest to you, not because their personality or the value that they bring to you, just because they exist as a human around you. I think valuing authenticity over that comfort connection is important. And if you go to a new place, don't rush to be friends with everyone. Don't rush stuff. Just take your time and trust yourself and be okay with alone and be happy with yourself in general.
When do you feel like you planted yourself here?
I think after meeting Baran. I know that's a big that's a big tip. if you get a boyfriend,
find the love of your life.
Exactly. That made everything easier. Yeah, because I was planning to go back to Turkey. Like I was happy with my social life, but I was struggling with a lot of taking care of myself alone, and everything's easier in Turkey kinda. And then I was planning to transfer to a university there. Then it didn't work out, not related to Baran, but I met him at the same time, and I was
okay. So you actually started the steps to go back.
Yeah.
Oh shit! Okay, it was that bad at some point?
Yeah, like I don't know if it was that bad, but I think I was a bit too spoiled to handle it.
Okay.
Like looking back now, like I could have just easily. I think it's just another thing is when you, like from my experience, I was always a good student without putting too much effort in high school. And then when I go into McGill, like I was a big fish in a small pond, then I became a small fish in a big pond, and then everybody around me become smart, and everybody, like I became below average, and that was a shock. And even though I put effort, it was extra shock that it didn't show off that easily. And I just wanted to go back to that side, that I was easy and I could have just done everything easier on my end.
If you don't mind me sharing, I remember you've told me this one time where like when you got your first bad grade.
Oh my god, I failed.
You were like on the verge of like, well, you
like
broke down. Yeah.
Exactly, because again, like in high school, I was in the top 10% of the school, but again, my high school was 300 people. It was a small high school, but again, like I was a good student all my life, and plus sizes, I didn't need to study hard. And in here, I came here, different language, fine, but I was studying high school in French, so that's not an excuse. And I put effort, I studied, and then I realized that even if I studied, I was getting like B plus, A minus, and that was not great because I was getting A plus before. And in this class that I failed, I kind of underestimated it, and I didn't go to, like, I got a really good grade on midterm, didn't go to class after midterm. Prof changed, everything changed, and then I was surprised on the final exam, and I just like underestimated the workload that I should have been put in because I was not used to it before.
This feels more like your old mentality versus coming to Canada issue, if that makes sense.
I think so. Like, I don't know if it's just Canadian. It could be North American, maybe.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. I'm not sure, but there has also, I've been going through this before 25, and after 25, your prefrontal cortex develops and you become a full human. So I think that also affects it as well too. Like, it's not just life examples, like it's not just that example that is happening, a cumulative of multiple stuff. Also, you're maturing and growing at the same time. So that makes a big shift. Like like if you ask me 3 years ago, I might have given you different answers.
Again, you said that Baron's the reason that kept you here, but from my perspective, I do feel like you have a lot of friends here.
Oh yeah.
So,
Baran is, I wouldn't say the reason, but in that year, he was the stuff that, like, not stuff, he was the person that made me adjust to this life easier. Because I was lacking that family connection, and he was creating that family connection for me. That was one of the things. Like, if my parents were here, or if I had a relative here, it might have been easier, I would say. Having no one might have created that effect.
Okay. I'm super glad it worked out. This is, listeners, this is, we like, again, Hazal and I, we worked together for about 3 years. She always talks about Baran.
Guilty.
And today is actually the first time I met him. So seems like a great dude. Like he was trying to help us produce this show.
Nice.
Amazing. Seems
I'm
like
so
an
glad
amazing
you guys
person.
did. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You can put a face on him whenever I talk now. So.
So you're the person.
Yep.
Okay, cool. Thank you. So now I'm curious, why psychology?
Okay. I was gonna go become a chef.
No way. You
A
never
baker.
told me this.
A baker, specifically. I was going obsessed with this in my last 2 years in high school.
But wait. So now I'm confused. Like, so you don't cook, but you want to be a baker.
Yeah, I don't like cooking. I like baking.
Oh, okay. So you're one of those people. Okay.
I know.
Okay.
But I'm like, I was okay to learn cooking. Like, I was okay to go through it. So I actually researched a lot. I was gonna go to Cordon Bleu in France. I was gonna do a full thing, but then my parents were like, okay, that's a certificate program. That's not a degree. You don't, well, I might know it wrong, but that's what I found out when I was doing my research.
So what's the difference?
It's not a BA. It's not a bachelor's degree.
Okay.
It's a cooking degree. And my parents were like, we want a bachelor's. I don't know. I don't think there's a logical reason, David.
Okay.
I think it's my parents are like being like, okay, you gotta go to school and you gotta learn something. And then I was like, okay, fine, I'll do it after I finish my school. Look at me now. Didn't work out. And then the closest thing again after that was psychology. I wanted to become a criminal psychologist.
Whoa.
I know. I was the psycho that's super into serial killers and stuff like that.
Still into serial killers.
Kinda. It's always there. I think a lot of women is into murder mysteries and like listening to murder podcasts and stuff.
Yeah, that's one of the top genre podcasts.
So. It's really interesting. And so yeah, psychology started off with like literally Criminal Minds, the TV show. That kind of approached criminal psychology, and then I just derailed while I was studying because I was gonna go strong in my first year. I was like taking abnormal psych, criminal psych, and stuff like that. But then I became like, I want a life. I don't want to.
I want a life.
Like,
what's wrong with
nothing wrong with them in general. But if you could become a criminal psychologist, it's like you're surrounded by this kind of disturbed people. You're doing research about them all the time. Like, you can always have a life. It's just I didn't see that strength in me to have that positive mentality. Like, you know me, you worked with me. Like, I go into a interrogation with a like psychopath and just like start laughing and just like joking around. That's not gonna work out. So exactly, I can't do sarcastic comments to those kind of situations. So I think that was not the best fit for me.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm surprised I didn't tell you that I bake, but I don't bake here because I don't like my kitchen that much. So
So that's it, because you never baked.
no, that's the thing.
Well,
Correct.
for my knowledge, you never baked.
No, that's
You
true.
never, because you never brought it. You cookie or
No, no,
whatever.
no. I do really rarely. And the other day, I surprised my friends as well too. Like I know them for a couple of years, and I made lemon cookies, and they're like, "You know how to bake?" I'm like, "Yeah."
See, I was not the only one.
No, I true. I just don't like my kitchen, so I don't like bake.
Okay. Well, assuming you have a kitchen, like, is that something you're down to
100%.
start? Okay.
100%. Love baking.
What's your favorite thing to bake?
I love doing cheesecake.
Oh.
That's my favorite. Also, like eating it too. But I
Oh
think
no, really?
I think lemon or orange, like zesty kind of flavors, is always good. Like those. That's a good reminder. Next time I meet with you and Charlotte, I'll bring something and I bake.
Okay. Okay.
If I don't forget,
If-
we'll see.
That's a big if.
Cannot promise.
Okay, and then after this, you transitioned to video games.
Oh yeah.
So how did that happen?
I think the main lesson in my last 10 years of life is basically something fails and something doesn't go in the way that I want to. And then it ends up being better and it just like goes into another direction. So like I said, I wanted to be a baker. I ended up becoming a psychology major. And then after psychology, I'm like, okay, great. So me being a super competitive and accomplished person, I'm like, okay, let's go PhD. Didn't work out. And they accept like 20 people. The competition was super high. And med school kids that don't go in med school go to PhD psych. There's like, I can't compete those people. Like I failed in my first year. I can't go in PhD. Like it's that strict of a competition. And I didn't have the background. I didn't have the mindset. I was just such a, oh, I'll do a PhD kind of thought like that's not a great idea. So it didn't work out. And I'm like, okay, I need to get my citizenship. So I applied for PR. While doing that, I worked and I got my PR. Then I went to master's degree. In my master's, I was supposed to go in psychology counseling kind of area. That is like more field related, not research related. So it was like seeing patients and stuff like that, like being a counselor. But then that didn't work out.
Why?
I sometimes it doesn't. I think application related. Everything was matching actually, but don't know.
So you never,
no
you
shade.
Never, you never found
No
out
shade.
why you didn't get accepted. You just don't care.
There's nothing you can do much about it. Like you just
Yeah,
get a
that's fair.
rejection and then you just like, I went to ask about it, but there was like on paper, everything looked fine. But because there's competition is super high in these, like psychology bachelor, my classes were 700 people and these programs are 20 people each per year.
Oof.
It's it's impossible to get in this kind of things if you're not having A+ on everything.
Plus you're at the school.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's just like McGill sometimes doesn't want McGill students to keep continue as well. So they want new students come in. There's like a mix of international and local as well too. So it's like mix. So it didn't work out. But then I ended up in Alzheimer's research where I was working and did an Alzheimer's on the neuroscience master, which was really, really fun. And I felt like I enjoyed it a lot, learned a lot.
Is there a reason why you went into that?
Well, basically, it was luck. It was the work that I got in as a research assistant after I graduated.
Okay.
And then seeing the field, and I had some neuroimaging background with EEG before. So that matched with what we were doing, like PET scans and MRI in the lab as well, too. So just went into there after.
Just for the people, what are those?
Oh, it's rusty. let me remind myself. So
because I just realized like you said EEG. I was like, I know what that is because I worked on that.
I can't.
But then I'm like, but normal people don't know what that is.
I can't say the name on record, David. I can't even say it normally. EEG is like a device.
Yeah, you could just describe. Even I don't know the exact.
The name is
Name,
long.
yeah.
No.
Okay, no. Just tell us what those things are.
It's I was using it in the depression anxiety. So people wear a cap with 32 knots, and those knots catches the wavelengths in your brain, which related to your attention and cognition and all those different things. So when you present a stimuli is in an image or a video to a participant in a quiet, isolated room, and you see a spike of change in that wavelength, you can do correlations to their psychology and their backgrounds. You do interviews after, so you find more in-depth knowledge of their brain and how it works, which areas of the brain is related to what kind of emotions, basically. This is just EEG. Do you want me to go into detail on like PET, MRI, MEG, all those nerve? Basically, these are all different types of ways that we can scan brain. That's how I would say it.
Okay, fine, sure, I'll take that.
Thank you.
You sounded really smart. Good job. Sorry. Please go on.
What was I saying?
You're talking about what you were researching.
Oh yeah, I got the job there, and then when my application didn't work out with counseling, the principal researcher that I was working with offered me a position as a master's student. Like, she's like, I like your work. Why don't you come work with us? I'm like, great, let's do it. Jumped into it. Again, like one door closes, another one opens. And I am so glad that I went in there. Because like, there's nothing wrong with counseling psychology, but it wasn't me. And I'm so glad that I went to research. And that shifts my whole mentality of asking questions and learning about new stuff. And I realized there's no limit of learning. And I still believe that like until we die, I'm just going to keep reading and learning new stuff. So that just, I learned about that. So that was really good work. And then I applied for a PhD. Well, I was thinking to do a PhD, but then I realized while I was doing my master's, I saw PhD students and I'm like, do I really want to do a PhD? It sounds nice and all, but it's tough. 5 years of that experience is, you need good strength and good resistance in general. And I didn't see myself having that. So I shift my focus to general field. I was going to go to pharmaceuticals because research psychology makes sense. And Baran again showed me work of his user research team in his company, and he saw similarities of what I was doing in my master's, like in general research wise. And he's like, why don't you just look into it? And then WB had a position open, and then just happened, and then you know the rest. Well, so maybe they don't know, but
so you had no idea that this could be a potential with games?
Oh, no idea. Not at all.
Okay.
I think that's a common thing in games user research. A lot of people are like, oh, I didn't know this field existed. And then you just discover it's like best of both worlds, like games and research together. Amazing.
I mean, the same thing. I didn't know this was a thing until maybe a year before I started working in this field.
Until you see someone who's doing this work, you don't know about it.
Okay. So our open position, you applied for it, and then lucky/unlucky for you, you had me in an interview room.
Yes.
Okay. I asked this to every guest. Do you remember when we first met?
I do. I had an interview between you and Mike.
Yes.
And I remember one specific thing that you said in that interview that I'm like, my eyes start twitching and I'm like, this is going to be fun working with this person. You remember that incident, David?
No, what happened?
So we had this interview. You guys asked me questions, great. And then it was my turn. And Mike was like, oh, do you have any questions to ask? I'm like, yeah, I do. And I started asking my questions. And then you start laughing at some point and you're like, are you the interviewer or are we the interviewer? And I'm like, oh boy, this is just the beginning.
Yeah, I think, because the way we do interviews, me and mine, but also, when we did it together for later, we do turn by turn, like just so we don't mix up. Yeah. And in that interview, he just happens to be the one who asks you all the questions.
Yep.
And you work with him a little bit. We're opposites. Like he's usually most of the time he's super serious, and I'm just goofy.
Yes.
So that was my only contribution to that
That's how I met
interview.
you. Exactly.
Okay. So that was your first impression of me. Like this is gonna be a fun guy to work with in a good or bad way.
Yeah, it's too soon. It was too soon to tell at that moment, but I was like, okay, this is a person that I can go back and forth and have good discussions with.
Really?
Because like you said, in that interview environment, it's not easy to make jokes and like break that kind of ice and silence.
And I just broke the wall.
Exactly. And I needed that, like someone just saying that I can just go full on be myself. And like, that was a perfect opportunity.
Yeah. I mean, that's how I like to approach interview. Because at the end of the day, like we'll be working together, like, 40 hours per week.
You need to know.
I make this joke, but sometimes it's so true. Like you're gonna see me more than people inside your house, your family.
Exactly.
So I'm like, it needs to be a person I vibe with. So that's why I always tell people, be yourself in interviews. The thing I hate the most is prepared answers.
I can't do that. They need to see the little crazy side of me in the interviews before.
We didn't see that though.
Yes.
We didn't see that. But
Well,
what's funny is that our director, who's still here, Phil, he predicted that. So what he told, look, because he did like a final interview with you all just to like get, because we told us like, yeah, it's very close. Like you talk to both the finalists and then give us your opinion, and then we'll choose. Because Montreal, we'll be the one working with you actually.
Mm-hmm.
And then his comment on you, he's like, yeah, both of them are fine. I'm fine if you hire either of them, but FY on this person, Hazal, I feel like she'll be the type of person who will, quote unquote, behind your back, go personal DM the other devs or whatever and get stuff going without you knowing.
Which was true. Actually, it happened. I took David's project after a year, but you got from like everything changed after. Yeah, but yeah, I'm not I'm happy with my position kind of person. I'm like, what's next? What's next? Let's go.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, I like it.
I like proactive people. That's really good. And I on the record, I'd never felt it was fine with me. Yeah.
Nice.
So
glad to hear.
Do what you gotta do. Actually, I fucking hated that.
I try to not damage my team. I try to attack other people, not our team in general. But yeah, things might happen.
Okay. So you worked there for about 3 years.
Exactly.
Then you decided to abandon me on
unfortunately
start a new journey. But there's a good reason why you want this new position. I hope it's not because you hated me. So why did you decide to have a change of scenery? And you kind of tease that you have plans of leaving Montreal in the near future.
I think during COVID time, everybody realized how sweet of a life with remote working. And even though I love Montreal, the weather is a bit tough here. And it affects with your mood. The winter is long and like it's a bit suffering. So I had this idea of having a remote job. When I think I had this idea when I was starting WB as well too. I think I talked to you.
You were pretty open about that.
Yeah, I talked to you about it before.
Maybe not day one. Don't do that day one. But I like for sure in the first year you mentioned this is your dream scenario.
Exactly.
Which I think what I told you anyways. I'm like, I don't think this is gonna happen here. You're gonna need to go away at some point.
Which was correct.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was looking for a remote option after like first getting into the UR field. User research is a difficult field to get in. And then second, after getting used to the field, find a remote job. So Fortis was fully remote. Oh my god, Fortis is fully remote. So that was one of the.
You know the secret job.
I don't wanna jinx it. Wait, let me do my superstitious things. Fortis is remote, so that was one of the main reasons that I needed that change happen, so we can move and start a new journey.
And it's interesting. You just mentioned a few reasons why you want to leave Montreal, but then at the beginning of this podcast, you mentioned like I would want to grow old here.
Yes.
So what's the difference there?
I think I'm not ready for a stable job, like say stable life yet.
Okay.
I want to travel the world, explore the world, and I think Montreal is a bit isolated. Like North America in general is a bit isolated. So you have the option. Let's say we have a long weekend. I can go to New York. I can go to Miami. I can go to LA. Okay, great. But those are going to cost me a lot of money to do. But let's say if I'm in Europe, in that time of frame, I can go to Turkey, I can go to another country, and it's going to be way cheaper, easier, spontaneous planning. It's more accessible. Also, parents are getting older, closer to being Turkey is important as well too. So I can be there in like a couple of hours. So that's the main reason I want to live a couple of years in Europe and experience that lifestyle, a different culture a bit, especially like North American culture. Going around the work environment in general is not the best fitted for me. So I think I want to experience other cultures before too. But I don't know, like I'm saying this now that I want to come back when I get older. But again, 5 years later, Hazal will have a different opinion probably. So I can't predict anymore. I tried it in the past. I'm going to plan my next 5 years. Never worked. Immediately, like literally the first couple of months, everything derails. So I just gave up on that planning. But it's a potential place that I feel like it's home because I spent 10 years here. So it's always an open door for me. Turkey is like that for me as well too. Like it's an open door for me. Those two places, Montreal and Turkey, I can go and move there anytime and be fine with it.
Why Spain? as a next destination?
Well, Fortis gave a couple of country options.
Okay.
That's one of the things. But I always wanted Spain as well too, because food, amazing culture. People are Mediterranean people, loud. I can blend in, I'm not gonna be the loud one here. Like, it's tough to keep yourself quiet here.
There are loud cultures.
Yes.
I would fit right in.
Exactly.
That's a first.
And I like that culture of like, you take breaks, you have family and friends celebrations. Like, I'm not saying it doesn't exist here, but it's more closer to home for me there, I would say.
Closer to home, as in like it reminds you of home, you mean?
Culture wise, yes.
Okay.
I don't know how to explain it. It's not like set stones kind of idea. It's just, oh, Spain is nice weather, good food, good location. Why not?
Why not? That's
Why
how we
not?
make life decisions, everybody.
At this point, no, I don't think it's scary anymore,
Yeah.
so it's fine.
Yeah. And throughout you telling us your journey, like, I feel like every time there's a pivot,
Yes.
maybe you moved on from it, but it feels, the way you say it, it feels like when it happened, you just, like, whatever. It is what it is. Is that how you really are, or because is it because it's been years, so you got over it? Like, for example, when you got rejected for PhD and so on.
I think in that moment, it was tough. I remember, what am I going to do kind of mindset. But I think I left that mindset in the last 2 years, I would say. Like, since I started working in the corporate, like, actual field and not academia.
We taught you to not give a fuck.
Exactly,
Oh.
kinda. But also, I think it was like what the first PhD, and then counseling, and then PhD. So 3 times, I think 3 times is the charm kind of approach. I had that rejections, and then I saw it actually happened better.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like I'm comfortable with any of the choices that will come up into my life. I'm a really spiritual and what is it called? Superstitious person.
Mm-hmm.
So I believe in that kind of loss of control in this kind of situations. So you can plan stuff. You can try your best. That's I believe in. But what happens or whatever comes into your way is for the better. That's my view from now on.
Kind of like everything happens for a reason.
Exactly. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not a set fate person, but it's more like, try your best, give everything you got. And if it doesn't happen, there's a reason for it. Maybe it's better. So you never know. Like, if you ask me when I was applying for a PhD right after university, that person would say, oh, I don't know what to do with my life. I'm really sad. But this Hazal, if I go back in time, I would not be sad. I would be like, oh, that's great. There's a new challenge. There's a new opportunity. And I'm excited to see what's going to happen.
So one of my questions would have been, do you have any regrets? But I guess no. Or is there something still?
My memory is really bad though. But I don't think so. Like, will there be anything I would have done differently? No. Honestly, no. Well, I would have studied a little harder in undergrad. That's on me. But other than that, no. I think I would have do a lot of things the similar way.
Okay. And also, like, one thing, like, this, because you told me a little bit of this before, and I'm always surprised, because at work, I see you always want to learn. Like you said, you're a learner, always read. There's always stuff to learn. What happened there in the high school era where you're like... Is it fair to say you were not that much interested into learning back then, or was it just too easy for you to like, I don't need to do this?
Well, I was like in class, I was exactly like I was at work. I was full concentrated. Concentration and attention is not a big issue for me. I can just sit down and study for 7 hours. It's
Okay.
easy. But when I was learning in class and I was getting, let's say, 85 out of 100, I never had that temptation to go 100. I was like, it's fine.
Okay.
And I think social circle is important as well too, because my social friends was not super into studying. So I was always getting good grades. My parents were happy. I was okay. So why do I need to do more? I can just do other stuff with my friends. Well, in McGill environment, everybody's were like doing like final season in library is a adventure, David. Like, I don't know how to explain this. We have this library called McLennan. Second floor is a crying floor. People go there, cry. in between study breaks.
That's insane.
And like third floor is group studies. Everybody chit chat there. They have food and stuff like that. Some people take all-nighters. Some people sleep on their desks. When you see that kind of people around you, you're like, holy shit, I need to catch up. I need to do this. I need to work harder. I need to put the effort. And I told you, when I put a little bit of effort, I didn't see any change. Like, you need to put a lot of effort. So that was the shift, but I was not, again, it was not internal, it was more external. The shift for me, for that motivation of learning to become internal, was my master's degree. I worked with really smart people, and those smart people inspired me a lot. And I realized that you can just learn more and more, and there is no limit. And I think everybody can change and everybody can improve themselves. That was the big shift for me.
Going through all this, it's been a pretty, I think, adventurous. Describes you well. Any fear
About what exactly?
Like, what's your biggest fear?
I haven't lost someone close to me, so that would be the biggest fear right now. Because like I don't know how to deal with that because I haven't experienced it yet. Because unknown can sometimes bring fear, but I think other than that.
Would you say that that's one of the reasons why you want to be closer to your family?
Yes, 100%.
Okay.
Because like I want to be there if there's an emergency or something. Because it's a small incident, but my dad had a surgery at some point, and I couldn't go back and didn't see him. And like you want to be close during that time. You want to be there with the family. So I haven't had that through, and I have a brother. And if there's a unfortunate event that happens and we lose someone, I want to be there to support him as well too. Yeah. So being connected to people and being close to is important, and that's one of my fears right now that I don't know. And we're getting to that age that our parents are getting old, so that's the ugly truth of life.
Very close to family. Is it the Turkish thing, or is it the more of a you thing? Family being important.
I think it's a Turkish thing. I think in general, Eastern cultures like Middle East and Asian in general too, like family importance, like it's more collectivistic culture. It's not individualistic. Canada and North America is more individualistic. You are on your own when you're 18. Like some parents ask for rent. Excuse me, what? While in Turkey, in traditional families, you don't move out until you get married. And
that's the exact same thing I tell people that
exactly
that talk to me. I'm
like it's not just the family as well too. Like there's neighborhoods, there's people that talk. Like in Turkey, let's say my recent trip, I didn't know which metro stop I needed to get off, and I asked a woman on the metro and like which one I get up. Literally the whole train starts discussing where I'm getting off and what is the shortest way to get my destination, and they're like debating ideas and like, oh, I think if she took that route it's like shorter. I'm like, guys, just tell me the station, guys, like I don't need it. It was weird of a shock for me after like living here, but here they're like, remove the headset and like, did you just talk to me?
How
like,
dare you
like I was listening to some music anyway. So that's the culture difference. And if you go to the root to it, it goes to the family, I would say. And that family is close to you, your relatives. And families are big in Turkey. Like mine is smaller. Baran's family. Did I ever tell you how many aunts and how many uncles he has?
I think so, but because it was such a big thing, I don't remember.
His mom has 9 siblings. His dad has 9 siblings. He doesn't even know how many cousins he has. That's
same for me.
That's insane for me. Like, okay, my dad had 4 siblings and my mom had 3, so it's not super small. But single child and stuff like that, it's not a common thing that much. Like families are big. When there's a wedding, it's huge. Like those kind of things makes everyone connected to each other. So I would say, yeah, family is really important in Turkey. And there's also a lot of traditions that goes with it as well too.
And you being basically spending half your life here, do you feel more like a North American or a Turkish person nowadays?
None.
I
have no roots right now. If I go to Turkey, like whenever I visit, I realize how different I am from who I was before. And Canada is tough to compare because like a lot of people are first generation immigrants here as well too. So it's hard to tell what Canadian is, but if you're considering like
we're a big melting pot here, so
exactly. Like, but if we're talking about like a classic Ontarian family that is English speaking and white, for example, I am not them too. So it's hard for me to pinpoint where I am, but I think a lot of people in Canada and Canadians feel that way as well too.
Mm-hmm. And did that ever affect you that the fact that you don't feel like you belong in any group?
Personally, no. I have friends that get affected by it. But for me, I was never super traditional or super into roots because I told you I moved a lot with my family.
Yeah.
So for me, change and getting adapted to a new environment, getting the different things, and my family was not super traditional as well too.
Okay, yeah, I think
So
usually that
that
helps.
affected,
Yeah,
exactly.
that
So
affects
I
it.
don't feel like I'm not belonging anywhere because I don't have that roots to hold myself to. But if you're a really traditional Turkish person, which I have friends like that people generally had adaptation issues. And like if you try to stay in that route and not adapt here, you will not gonna be fully blend in, and you're not gonna have that full experience. Because yes, you can be Turkish, yes, you can have those traditions, but you need to adapt yourself or be open to different people and different traditions here as well too. I think Canada is great for that because you can get to experience a lot of different cultures here, a lot of different friends, like friends get together, so many different people. And you get exposed to different traditions and different ideologies and perspectives in general. But yeah, like when you think about just Turkish groups, which existed when I was in university, there's like Turkish crews and cliques. You can always stay in that bubble and you can always be with that people, but you're not going to grow and you're not going to experience something different. Like personality wise, I'm so eager to experience those new things. That's exciting for me. But I can see for other people, it might not be that interesting or sometimes just off-putting as well too. I can understand it, but not me.
Because you've sort of changed since you started living here, do you have any of those culture clashes with your parents or family?
Yes, a lot. First of all, funny part, if I say anything English by accident, let's say I'm writing something and my brother asks me something, and instead of I say no in Turkish, I say no in English.
Yeah.
Oh my God, the whole household. Oh, my princess wants some tea. Do you need some attention? They start making these weird ass sentences and just like laughing at me. Or lady, it requires some attention at this point. Like so many.
Just because you said no?
Exactly, but like it's a cultural thing, I guess too. So like there's a lot of like back and forth banter in the household. So that moment, oh my God, the whole household starts making fun of me immediately just because I said no, just because I said yes. Or like, I don't know, like exactly when I say I don't know or like say yes or yeah or something like that, oof, everybody starts laughing.
Okay. But you said that doesn't bother you.
No. It's funny. It shows like it shows love for me.
Okay.
Like it's funny because I realized it after I moved to here that I do this to a friend that is not used to this kind of banter. And they're like, is there something wrong? Are you mad at me? I'm like, oh no, I was trying to be playful. I was trying to just like joke around, you know? Like you're used to that kind of conversations with me, but you can see someone sensitive if I start talking that way. How like, I don't know, you're in that spot and someone is like literally throwing stuff at you kind of. So yeah, that was the biggest thing. But yeah, differences in general, like I think mindset wise, I'm way more open to new cultures and new stuff and experiencing new in different ways. I think Turkish way is more traditional, and sometimes they're like, this is true, like this is correct and this is wrong. There's no other way kind of approaches.
You meaning like thinking of how Turkish does thing, Turkey people does thing, and you're like, no, this should not be.
Like for me, I'm open to discuss anything.
Okay.
For them, sometimes it's not. So it's
Oh,
a bit
you mean
different.
that way. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. It could be like food kind of, like light conversations. It could be religious kind of hard conversations. So it's a big spectrum. But when you're exposed to multiple cultures and multiple perspectives here, you're okay to discuss it and evaluate stuff. While you're used to one monoculture and one type of people around you, you're not open to discuss it that much, I would say. That would be the biggest difference between me and my family.
Okay. I'm glad it seems like they are okay with it, and there's nothing.
Oh, they're not traditional that much, so it was super
that's
chill.
cool.
Exactly.
So that's the entire family. They're just your parents. They're not traditional.
Well, like, my dad's side, I would say traditional.
Okay.
But I'm like, since I moved here 10 years ago, I'm not super close with them. Like when I see them, I don't go into deep discussions. Like it's more like catching up. Hi, how are you? Kinda. I don't talk to them daily. Like my aunt, my dad's sister would be the closest one, and she's super not traditional, so it's fine.
Okay, let's look at it the other way. When you came here, what's the biggest culture shock for you?
I think some people's approach. Okay, so I need to give some context to it. When I first arrived here, I was staying in a residence that is mostly Canadian. There
Okay.
was like 200 people in the residence, and let's say 5% was international.
Is that the
And
McGill
yeah,
thing?
McGill
Yeah.
Upper Res.
Yeah.
And inside those 5%, let's say 15% is international, 10% is French, 5% is other countries.
Okay.
Some people's way of asking questions and not knowing stuff was a bit bothering for me.
Asking question and not knowing stuff.
Like when you first get here, there was prejudice a lot. Like
Against you?
not
Or-
me specifically. Well, mostly because I was Turkish. Because like it's not racist in that kind of sense, but there's the ignorance of not knowing stuff. Like a lot of people didn't know where Turkey is.
Oh,
A lot of
in that
people
sense, okay.
didn't know what the kind of a culture Turkey has. And like I'm coming from Turkey, but I know a lot of stuff about Europe, Asia, or like I don't know, North America in
Yeah,
general. Like
yeah.
how do I know this? Because I read, because I watch stuff. Like
Mhm.
they can do it as well too. I'm not saying watch Turkish soap operas. I'm not saying like know the actresses or actor's name, but
Yeah.
know where in the map Turkey exists. Come on.
Mhm.
And we're in university and meeting these people. So
Mhm.
that was a big shock. And I was like, oh, okay. General knowledge was a bit different, I would say.
I can. I'm also like I open myself into that pot. Like I feel like here we don't spend that much time
No.
learning about the rest of the world. I feel like.
I think so too. I think it's the education system that does it that way too.
Mhm.
Because I don't know about the European system. So French system in general teaches you around the world as well too. And in my high school in general, we learned about Turkish history. Well, luckily enough, Turkey is located in the middle of everything. So we start from
Mhm.
like ancient Greek to
Mhm.
like current state.
Mhm.
So it's a long age to
Mhm.
cover.
Like legit, I learned more about Turkey because of you
Yeah,
versus my entire time at school.
I think so
I don't
too.
even think we ever talk about Turkey.
But like, I'm curious about that. Like, I think it's more education system kind of way, because it's not just Canadians. Americans are that kind of way as well too. There's some lack of general knowledge around the worldwide. There's really good knowledge about Canada and North America in general, and like the events in here, but I don't think they covered the worldwide that much.
Mhm.
I think in like Turkish system, for example, it was mostly Europe and North American based. We didn't cover much from Asia, for example, or Africa.
Mm.
So those were the parts that I was lacking that I had to catch up afterwards, as long as like as more as I met new people from different cultures and races as well too.
Mhm.
That was the difference I noticed in Turkish population.
Are you always happy to teach them about Turkey?
It depends on the question.
Okay.
It depends on the attitude and like context in
Okay.
general. If it's a general curiosity,
Yeah.
more than welcome. Let's
Mhm.
sit down, have a conversation. If it's more about like, I don't know, what do you mean kind of approach?
Mhm.
No. I'm matching that energy. I am not giving
That's
back
fair.
the
That's fair.
open arms
That's
to
fair.
you. No, exactly.
Okay, well, I'm curious. Like, what would be the number one thing you would want people to know about Turkey or Turkish people?
I want them to know the location of it, because like a lot of people are not aware where Turkey exists on the map.
Mm.
Like it's okay for the listeners that don't know. It's between Greece on the west side, Bulgaria and Russia on the north side.
And then the
And we
question is,
have-
where's Greece?
don't. And we have Armenia, Iran, Syria, and Iraq on the east and south side, and then we have the Mediterranean Sea and Cyprus at the south.
Mm-hmm.
So location is quite important, because our culture is really mixed of Europe and Middle East. It's literally the bridge between Asia and Europe.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why it's hard for us to getting categorized in one way. Like we're not Balkan, we're not Middle East fully, we're not Russians, we're not. I would say we are kind of Mediterranean, because
Mhm.
that's like majority of the
Mhm.
Turkey as well too. But inside Turkey, there's different cultures as well too, like
Mhm.
where you go to west to east.
Mhm.
And when you get categorized in some way, it kind of takes it off. I think in every culture, if you get categorized in stereotypical way or some way, that
yeah. I
pisses
remember
you
you.
off.
I remember you told me like, here, look at these 3-4 people. All 4 of them are Turkish, but they
Oh, yeah.
don't look anything like
No,
each
no,
other.
no.
I was like, oh shit.
If you
oh.
did like 23andMe to my high school class, you would find
If I would do what, sorry?
23andMe, the DNA test.
Wh-
that tells you your ancestors.
Yeah. Yes.
So if you do that in my high school class, you would be surprised by the results. I don't even know what my ancestors are like, because my dad's side is coming from, like, there's a lot of Middle Eastern side from my dad's father, but that my dad's mother is more Central Asia, Turkmenistan kind of. So my mom is Macedonian and Greek and mix of Turkish as well too. So like if I do that test, I don't know what will be the results. I have no idea.
You ever thought about doing it?
Yes, but then DNA results get stolen, and I don't want my data to be that's another discussion. I'll go into detail. I know. But again, if in my class in high school, we had like literally a color spectrum. Like we had ginger, we had blonde, we had like brown, brunette, or darker. Like it's just a big spectrum of everything, and we don't look alike. And I show you a photo of like Turkish people in McGill as well too. Like you can tell when they start to speak with our accent in general.
Oh, okay.
But just appearance wise, it's a bit tough to tell. I get confused with other races a lot, other cultures a lot. People think I'm Iranian, people think I'm Jewish, people think I'm Greek, people think I'm Latin American, like some Spanish, so like curly hair and everything. It's just mix of everything, and I can tell I'm Turkish, but I don't even know how much Turkish I am. So
am I real?
Am I really Turkish? What is Turkish people? It's a big question. So yeah.
Okay, interesting. And I'm sorry. And do people ask you where Turkey is because they've never heard of Turkey before, or it's just
they know
location?
Turkey somehow, but they're not.
Okay.
Have no idea about the culture, and I don't think it's just Turkey. I think in general, like if you ask them where's Algeria, they will have no idea. If you ask them where's Morocco, they would have no idea. And I think that is kind of demeaning to think some countries are worth to know and some not. And I don't know, like it just doesn't make sense to me.
Okay.
I would be scared to ask that to someone, and I would just literally Google Maps, everybody's phone right there. Just write it, look into it, learn, and move on. It's so easy.
If I'll be honest, the reason why the name Turkey stuck in my head is because it sounds like Turkey. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember as a kid, like I heard the name for the first time. I was like, hey, this is the same thing
they recently changed it. Did you know that? Erdogan decided to make it Türkiye, which is the Turkish version of what we call Turkey.
Yeah.
I think because like my
you mean like even in the English the way we write in English,
like in Yuan for example, it's Türkiye right now.
Oh, okay.
It changed. I think like my conspiracy theory. I have no background to back this up. This is me just thinking by myself. It's like, oh, maybe it resembles to the animal, and they got like annoyed by it.
Okay.
But that joke, I heard it so many times.
It's not even a joke. It's just like that's how you remember stuff usually. It's like
that's fair. That's all good. Yeah, exactly.
Okay. I'm trying to think that the Olympics recently, did they write Turkey or Turkey?
It's really happened. Like it's I think end of summer.
Oh.
Well, I'm not sure.
So literally after the Olympics.
Let me just Google this because I don't want to spread false information again.
Yeah, this is being recorded. It's on the record.
And they're gonna say, "Oh my God, this Turkish woman doesn't know."
She's not legit.
She doesn't know.
Make her do a DNA test.
If you ask my family and stuff, like I would not be 100% Turkish anymore because living here so much. They changed it in June at UN, so I don't know what happened in Olympics. It might be too late to change it by Olympics then.
Well, on the TV you can change. It's not.
Yeah. On TV, yes, but like if they wear it written on something like that.
But I'm trying to think. Even on TV, was it written?
They are referring to Turkey as a Turkey from now on, so I don't know. But I'm still calling it Turkey. I don't think I'm gonna change it to Turkey at any point because that's weird for me to say it because it's Turkish, and like when you switch languages in the mid sentence, it becomes weird. So I just keep it Turkey probably.
I like Turkey in French.
Turkey.
Turkey.
Yep.
That sounds really nice.
Exactly. Like that too.
I don't know if I ever told you this. Like, I know you went to French school and stuff. Like, your French has always been good. Like, I feel like, because that was one of the things in the interviews. Like, oh, like, Hazal's French is not as good as that other person.
And the other person is Quebecois, by the way.
Yeah, we're not gonna like. I remember because that's what was the thing. I was like, dude, who cares? But also, I thought it was good.
Nice, thank you.
So yeah, good job on that.
I did interview with Logan in French, which was fun. That was a big thing. But like, yeah, in the research side, Alzheimer's, a lot of the patients that comes into the clinic was old Quebecois people. They
Mm.
mostly didn't know French. They didn't know English. So that was my reminder back, because during McGill we spoke zero French. It was
Yeah,
just
it's funny,
English.
like because one reason you said to coming to McGill was, oh, it's a mix of English and French. In my head, I was like,
It's
it's an
not.
English
It's not.
university.
I thought like, oh, maybe in Montreal I will speak French. No,
No,
zero.
especially not downtown.
Bonjour,
No,
hi. That's it.
yeah,
Exactly.
yeah. Now let's shift to your favorite person in the world,
Yes,
Baran.
100%. If you ask him, he would say the same thing. Yes.
That's so cute. So, because one of my questions is who you're most grateful for. I'm gonna guess it's him.
100%.
Want to talk a little bit about him? Like, how did he help you ground yourself here in Montreal?
Oh, I think not in Montreal, but he helped me so much on personal development and emotional side
Mm-hmm.
that made me comfortable being here, kind of sense. So Brian is on paper we're really opposites. Like, you know, my stories a bit on that too.
Yes.
On the bigger picture, we're really similar. Like, our morals and life goals and what we expect in life always align. So I think
Mhm.
that's a good recipe in a relationship as
Mhm.
well too. In personal side, because we were so opposites in reactions and emotions in general as well too, he helped me appreciate life more, and he helped me deal with strong emotions in a healthier way, and his perspective in general just provided me more broad options, and it's not just one way that I can go. There's multiple ways, and there's different way people can do, and he was always there to like support and give me advice. Just made me a better person in general.
Mm-hmm. You want to tell the little story of how you rejected him the first time?
Oh my god. I don't know if he's gonna enjoy this being recorded, but yeah, that infamous library, McLennan, we met there. I want to
So that library,
has a
like
lot of memories.
like they say, like sometimes love can bloom in the battlefield.
Honestly,
Can we say
it's
that?
like a purgatory.
Okay.
100%. You can say that.
Okay.
There's like every emotion exists in that library.
Okay.
Everybody goes through despair and love, I guess. So, so yeah, I decided to study with a friend on one floor, and then it was our common friend that I didn't know him about, and then we met there. First time meeting, there was definitely, oh, this person is different, this person is special, kind of chemistry, and you feel it immediately after. He asked my number, and then we start talking, but remind you, this is finals week.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, you want to go on a date or like for a coffee? And I had to reject him, and I'm like, sorry, but it's finals week.
Glad that out of all this story, you learn your lesson. Study is important.
I know. I go from 0 to 100 extreme so fast, like black and white. So yeah, that's our first interaction that I rejected him. But then
But you knew back then. You knew.
I knew he was special. I knew it's one of those people that, oh, this person is going to be important in my life kind of situation. But then I was telling you, like, I was applying to go back to Turkey while we just met. And after that discussion, we decided to wait until, well, he decided to wait until we finish the summer break. So I for sure know if I'm staying in Montreal or in Turkey, because that would, like, we were not going to go the long distance or anything.
Yeah.
So we stopped talking over the summer. Like, we talked and chit chat. And the second I learned that I'm not going to Turkey, I told our common friend, and our common friend told him. He's like, I'm back.
How did that go? It's like, hey, common friend, I'm ready. Let's go. Tell him.
Exactly. Well, it wasn't my intentions that much, but then they talked, and then like we just needed to spend time together, and that was it. And then after that, it's just so smoothly happened, super easy. That was surprising, but yeah, super grateful for it.
Nice. Now let's talk about the other super important members of your family.
I know.
You know where I'm going with this?
My little angels.
Your little angels. So you got two cats here who, before we started this podcast, you
had to
give
them treats.
Give them treats.
Exactly. They
So
are
now
a
they're
little hazard.
Yeah, now they're a little quiet. What's their story?
So I am a cat lady since like high school, nonstop. I had cats in Turkey, and also
Oh, well,
for the listeners,
yeah, for the listener, Tell us about the cats in Turkey.
Oh yeah, I was going to say, like, if you don't know about cats in Turkey, you need to Google it at this moment. So cats are everywhere in Turkey, and in our culture, we love cats, and everybody's so used to living with them. And the weather in Turkey is nice, so it's like not a stray cat kind of situation. It's more like a community feeds them. There's little houses on the streets and stuff like that. They're in the parks everywhere. Like a lot of Turkish people are cat people. So I had cats in Turkey, but then I came to here. First year, you live in a dorm, no pets allowed. So I didn't have cats. And then when I started to have my own apartment, I decided to foster because I didn't know what I was going to do or where I'm going to live after I graduate. But fostering is always like you contact with a rescuer and then they bring you a cat until they get adopted. You take care of it. Sometimes it's like a month. Sometimes we had, for example, Sherlock and Maisie for 2 years. So it's like long periods or short periods, but you get attached and it goes away.
And sorry, you kind of skipped. So when did you decide to get a cat? Like did you always knew that I'm getting a cat? I
always wanted, but I couldn't commit.
Couldn't
because
commit.
I didn't know when I was gonna go and what I was gonna go after like graduation. Like there was always an option to go back to Turkey, always an option to stay here. I didn't know what I was gonna do, so it was hard for me to commit for 15 years of commitment to when you don't know where to go. After fostering, I graduated, I start working, and I was like getting that temptation of like I should get a cat. Have you ever heard about cat distribution system, David?
No.
It is a phenomenon online.
Okay.
Yeah, I would advise to go on Reddit or anything for it. So certain people's lives, cats pop up. So my cat in Turkey, you don't go, like you can always go and adopt a cat. Like that's an always option. But there's a majority of the cat owners that the just cat appears in their life. So my cat in Turkey, I was taking my dog to the vet. We had a dog in Turkey. And the vet was like, oh, we found a litter and their mom is dead, you want one? And I'm like, yeah, why not? And then that's how I had my cat. Like you always like, or you just walking and then a cat just like jumps on you and then that becomes your cat. So it's like 2018, it's November 15th, and I was getting
I like how you remember the exact date.
Oh, I celebrate their birthday. Of course. Crazy cat lady. Come on. I was getting a sandwich from Joe's Panini. It's like a street from us. And there's an alley cross by to go to my house. So on the way back, while I was walking, the spotlight turned on. And there was a box with 2 kittens inside. And I just in that moment, like I told you, like I was getting that temptation because I was working and I see myself being there for citizenship for at least 3 years in Canada. So I'm like, I should get a cat. But I didn't commit. And then in that moment when I saw the kittens, they were 3 months old in the cold. There was no other option. And once I hold them, I'm like, okay, they're my cats now. I called Baran immediately because there was another person that saw them after me because I was like going insane, like, oh my God, kittens, but like yelling and stuff like that. And then she saw, and then she immediately grabbed her friend and they're like, oh, we can take them. But I was like, no, I saw them first. I'm taking them. I called Baran and I'm like, okay, I saw 2 kittens. There's someone wants them. Like, what do you do? And then he's like, just bring them over. And then
that's
like,
nice.
Exactly, because he
like
was fostering cats before, like while we were together.
Okay,
too.
he has a history. Okay.
Yeah. He loves cats as well too.
Okay.
And then I brought them home, and they were the cutest things ever, and crazy, and love them. And since then, inseparable. 100%.
What are their names?
Sadie and Indy.
Do you want to tell us why you named them that way?
Do you want the real name?
Yes.
So their actual name is Indica and Sativa. I know. I'm so.
I didn't know what it was until you explained to me, because I'm such an innocent boy. I didn't even know what that.
Come on, David. So Sativa and Indica is weed breeds. So there's a hybrid breed as well too. Indica breed is more about calming, sleepiness, and higher, like slower dose, while sativa is a higher dose. You like, I don't know, get high and clean and get high and cook. You do activities instead of just like sleeping. So when we first got them, we get to the house, they both feed, and then Indica passes the fuck out, like on the couch immediately. Like, dude, you were outside 10 minutes ago. You don't even know who I am. You're just like passing out on my couch out of nowhere. And then while he does that, Sadie Sativa was climbing on a library, like a bookcase that I had, destroying the books out and just like destroying the whole household. Like before we named them, Baran and I, like, we looked at them and like their personality was shouting their names.
Mm.
So Baran was like, we should name them Indica and Sativa. And
Oh,
I'm
okay,
like,
it was his idea.
it was his idea, and I thought that was a great idea until I realized that I need to tell this to my parents. And then,
Why?
because like they're gonna ask, what is Indica and Sativa? Am I gonna explain that I named
Oh, in
my
that
cats
sense.
after
Okay.
weed?
Okay, no, I thought you meant that they would have an issue of you
No,
owning
no,
cats.
no.
I'm like,
No.
Yeah.
Then we had their pseudonym, Indy and Sadie, and
So-
that's on their passport like that. So,
yeah, we need to talk about a passport thing. I learned about that recently. I'm like, there's a passport for pets?
well, I need to get the actual passport. This is a medical bookcase kind of thing. But when I have the actual passport, I'll show it to you. Yeah,
Mm.
hoping to have that before we move because we're gonna move with them. So
Mm-hmm. How's life been since you had these two kids?
it's insane. It's amazing. Well, anxious because you need to take care of another creature, like another living being.
Mhm.
So that's a bit tough when they have like incidents or like when they injure themselves. It's
Mhm.
like super anxiety filled. I don't know. It's unconditional love in both ways. Like they love you and you love them, and you don't. Both sides don't expect anything.
Do
from
they
each
actually
other.
love you back though?
I believe so. I really want to believe so, David. That's
cats,
like
I don't
that's
know.
the only hope that I have in my life. Okay, but it's just like I don't know. Like if it's a Friday, that was the realization in like my first year having cats. Friday night, Baran's out with his friends. I want to do something, but I don't. Sorry, I don't want to do something, but I need to socialize. I need to be with something. But then I realized I have my cats, and
Mm.
they fill that. I don't know, void for you.
Mm-hmm.
You don't feel alone in the house. You
Mhm.
always also India is hilarious. Like him just existing makes me laugh so much.
It was just existing.
Cause it's like lights on, there's nobody inside. He just like looks at a wall, just stares at it for like a half an hour. It's a funny cat. And Sadie is really entertaining. She is a psycho, but I love her. And just like that kind of entertainment in the house,
Mhm.
you never know. Like there's like something stupid happens. They fall
Mhm.
and then you start laughing. It just brings joy.
Mm-hmm.
Would 100% recommend. I think you guys should have a cat.
You guys should have
Yeah.
a cat.
Yes, 100%.
Who's the guys?
I don't know. Like I don't think you want to commit to it alone, but I think having a cat in the house is perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
I think I told you this. I was legitimately considering at some point, but then I realized like a bunch of people in my house were allergic. So
Oh, I
Yeah.
forgot that part. Every single time it made me realize there's hypoallergenic cats, but those are breeders, and I'm not a big breeder supporter, but that's
Mhm.
okay.
But yeah, I mean, from my perspective, like you're not the only cat lady I know in my life, and it feels like cats is. I don't know. Even remembering our times at working together, like it feels like 50% of our conversation were about your cats.
I share
Yeah.
photos every day.
Not
I
every
tell-
day. Not every day.
No, but the pets channel was abused by my cats, you know.
Not that much.
Well, I gave the work phone that I gave to Charlotte was covered with cat photos. You remember? She was getting slideshow of those
my
cats.
God.
Yep.
But that channel was not filled with your pictures. I know. I looked. I was disappointed. I was like, oh, okay. She didn't post it that much.
Maybe not. That's also true.
Maybe you took a lot of pictures. You just never shared.
Maybe I
them.
talked a lot in the meetings too. Maybe not show it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like if because the cat tree was in the background.
Oh, yeah.
When you Zoom
That's the
calls, and
perfect distraction.
If something happens in the background, you would notice it, and then you would stop. It was like, guys, look
Yep.
at this.
Exactly. I love it.
Or you would tell us your adventures of Sadie bringing back some live specimens.
That's like
And then-
literally my like I don't know test in life right now. Whatever she's gonna bring. Well, luckily we're going in winter, so there's no more animal that she can bring in. But for the listeners, no, not anymore because it's too cold. She can't stay outside. Like she
But-
can't
but-
hunt
She
Like-
can't hunt.
because she needs to spend hours to hunt.
Well, okay. What if there's a mouse inside your place, your apartment?
Oh, there's none, David. Let's not.
I'm just
No.
hypo-
There's no mouse in my apartment.
Really?
I am 90% sure.
Mm.
You know that incident? I know you're bringing that one. But
Yeah, I probably couldn't sleep because I told you about my story.
Well, yes. Also, I keep remembering my grandma's story about mice eating your nose. Anyways,
That's not true. Stop.
That's not true. That's not
Stop.
true.
Stop
I know.
spreading
I'm
that
not gonna
rumor.
spread false information outside. But yeah, we still don't know. That's a mystery. But I'm pretty sure it's not in the house anymore. There's no way. There's no way.
Well, they can make babies.
I should see. Like the mouse leaves trails, like poops or like
I
food
know.
or something.
We
Exactly.
we had a crisis in our house like a
Exactly.
past month where this mouse he's he or she has been going everywhere like biting all our food, and then the worst of it they leave poop.
Yep.
We're like,
Exactly. That's how you know you have a mice in the house. You see
yeah,
poop. I don't see poop.
maybe because your cat or your cats are eating them.
No, they're not that disgusting. Come on, guys. No. No, 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 no.
Oh my god. Okay, let's do some rapid fire questions.
That part scared me. I don't know what do you mean by that. Like, am I gonna be in time strained? Like, do
No,
I
no,
have
no,
to
no. It's just
shout back the answer? Like I will get loud when I get anxious. So
no. It's just smaller questions that sometimes are not related to this at all. It's just to get to know you.
okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Favorite Turkish dish? Say it's easy.
Okay, I was thinking about that the other day. I have one that I think I can say it, mantı, which is like tortellinis. It's like
Okay.
dough stuffed with meat and has a yogurt and tomato sauce on top of it.
You and your yogurt.
Everybody, Turkey is obsessed with yogurt, guys. Like it's insane.
Do you know why? Is it
I think it's in almost every dish that we have. Like we consume 4 big
But-
yogurts every week.
but it must come from somewhere. Like, how did yogurt get so popular? Like, do you have?
I didn't Google it. I didn't research on it.
Not a
But
real
it's
Turkish
like
person.
almost in every dish, and it's
Okay.
with meat, and it's with pasta, and it's anything that you can imagine.
Mm-hmm.
We have yogurt.
That seems like a good example of like how Turkish people are a mix of everything. I've never seen that dish you just described. Like, I feel it's that.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Like it can be mix of Italian, Middle Eastern,
Mhm.
and like all of those kind of mix. I agree. In Turkey too. Like if you visit, you're gonna see like every region, it's so different from each other, but it's
Mhm.
also mixed together.
Mm.
It's weird, yeah.
Is there a place to eat that here? A good place to eat that?
You can, but what I do is there's a Istanbul Marche that you can buy it frozen and make it at home. That's how I do it.
Oh,
Because
okay,
this is a food that I don't think I would pay to eat outside, because I would eat kebab instead, like meat instead of this, if I go to a restaurant, Turkish restaurant. There's no good Turkish restaurants in Montreal, first of all. The best one I found so far is in Laval, and it's quite far where I live right now. So I would make this at home instead of eating outside.
What's the name?
Mantı, Manti.
Okay. One place that you must visit in Turkey.
In Turkey, I haven't visited, but there's a mountain.
That's not a must visit if you haven't been to yourself.
Oh, my bad. I thought like I wanted to visit. So if I would recommend one place to visit, it's either Cappadocia or Ephesus. So one of them is, I don't know how to say it. It's a natural site that created during a volcanic eruption that has a big stones on top of I don't know. It's a really cultural site. There's like caves in there as well too.
Mm.
It's amazing. It's
Is
a
it like a nature resort? Can we? Oh wait, is
Let
resort the
me-
right word?
Google it. I don't know how to explain it because it's like multiple things at the same time.
Okay, but is it like a tourist area where like you sign up and then okay now go visit like that cave? I simplify a lot, but
Well, you go to a hotel and you take hikes. You have like hot balloons if you want to do it.
hot balloons.
Yes, which I did actually. Wait, Cappadocia. Let me Google this first so I can say it. It's a region, like it's a little city.
Okay.
So it's a semi-arid region in the central Turkey. Fairy chimneys. Okay, that was the word I was looking for. So it's basically a long, tall, cone-shaped rock formations. It is like a thin, stable, long shape
Mm-hmm.
stick, and there's a rock on top of it.
Okay.
It is hard to explain it. It's really unique to that area.
Okay.
But it's like there's sites from Bronze Age, the caves, and there's like illustrations. There's
Mhm.
like people who lived in there. There's valleys and like with walls with carved stuff. It's really
Mm.
old, and there's also a canyon there that you can go and walk and do hikes as well too. It's a mix of a lot of
Mm.
things, and I feel like it's a really spiritual area as well too. So I would recommend going there for
That's
sure.
Cool. Okay.
Can I tell you about the second place?
Yes. Give me a second place.
Ephesus. It's a ancient Greek site right next to Izmir, where I was growing up, and it's a huge ancient Greek site. like has multiple sites and it's amazing. It has an amphitheater and everything. It's like you walk around for like an hour or two at least to go cover it. It's gorgeous. Would definitely recommend there too.
If I go there one day, you should be my guide.
100%. Cheng is actually doing a layover, and I gave her a little guide on Istanbul, not Turkey.
You met there?
Huh?
You met there?
No, she is gonna do a layover in December.
Oh, she's going to.
Yeah.
Sorry. I thought you meant she did.
No. She's going to, and I gave her a little trip about like Istanbul.
Okay. Favorite ice cream flavor?
I would say strawberry.
Okay. You do love your strawberries.
I do love fruity stuff.
Favorite bubble tea flavor?
Okay, I'm so basic on that. It's milk tea with boba. And
Okay.
max I would go is brown sugar oolong tea.
I just had oolong tea.
I love that. But
earlier.
that's like the mix. Like I just generally go really basic and classic.
Okay. These two last questions are like related to stuff that I think I made you fall in love with.
What is it?
Favorite anime?
Okay, no, you can't just ask that. That's such a big loaded question. And I can give you top 3 because I recently decided my top 3.
Oh, okay.
Because when I was like, I want to watch something, tell me your top 3, we watch it together. Like I had to think about it for an hour or two.
An hour or two.
It's hard, man, because like it's such a big variety of options.
Especially because I gave you like the top of the top.
I know, and I'm still going through it, and I still don't know a lot. Okay, first, Free Run is in my top 3 by far.
Yep.
Easy.
Yeah.
Hunter x Hunter.
Yeah.
Easy. I like the more I watch classic shonens, like I'm watching Bleach now, the more I appreciate Hunter x Hunter because it's so different compared to the others.
Yep.
Amazing. And okay, the third one, I watch a lot of romance anime. So I think one of the best ones, and I still laugh at it sometimes, is Love is War. It's so good. It's so good. I have to put it there.
That's not really a rom. That's more a rom-com.
It is. If I wasn't gonna put it there, I think Oshinoko was gonna go there.
Let's go.
I know, but it's like the same anime creator, so I think it's like a kudos to them. It's not the same writer. It's the creator, right? Designer.
I think it's the it's this. Wait. It's the no. It's the same drawer. The story is written by a different person.
Yeah. But we were discussing like how the side characters got importance in the anime. It's so good, and both of them amazing.
Okay.
I'm glad I was prepared for this because otherwise you're gonna be like about this for like. But I'm recently asked this, so like I was actually considering this for a long time.
Okay. Biggest pet peeve.
Open mouth eaters.
Oh.
No. That's the biggest one. Like I'm okay with. Like if you're talking like you cover your mouth, it's like that's fine. But like actual big open mouth eaters, no.
Do you do something about it when you see one?
No, I can't do that. Like
but
I'm confrontational in general, but in that kind of sense, I don't like to make people feel embarrassed or self-conscious.
Yeah, that's fair.
So I just leave it. It's my problem, not theirs. So.
Okay, we're getting to the end of the show. I have one more thing for you. I did not tell you this.
Thank you for putting anxiety right now.
Why are you anxious?
I am an anxious person. Hit me. Go fast. Yes.
Okay. So I got something in my bag.
Now I'm curious.
So as a thanks for being a guest in the inaugural season of this podcast, I made something for each of my guests. Now I'm going to give it to you.
What is
and let's see your live reaction. Turn it when you're ready.
Okay. Oh my god. Did you actually make this?
Well, I didn't draw this, but yes, I commissioned it. So
with my cats
it's you. Yes.
One of them is gray, one of them is blue. I like brown. Oh, this is amazing. This is so cute.
Yeah. If you zoom in, he put details. If you look at the indie, we see his little like gray dot on the other thing.
Oh, this is so cute.
Yeah.
This is so thoughtful. Thank you so much.
No
and
problem.
I think this is exactly how I'm feeling right now when we're discussing. Like,
yes,
it's such a nice, cozy environment. Thank you so much for inviting me.
And thanks for coming. Thanks for coming. But yeah, that's what we call a shikishi. Actually, it's Japanese. It's really popular in Japan.
Why does it smell? It smells like
yeah,
paint.
Yeah. It's
Wow.
it's brand new. So
this is so sweet. Thank you so much.
No problem. Okay, before I let you go, anything you want to say to our viewers, our listeners? Sorry.
I I would say, hope they enjoyed my story. And like I told you before, I would love to come for an episode too. So if they would like to leave a comment or anything about it, like more than welcome, please.
Yes, if you want to see Hazal again, leave that in the comment section.
Exactly.
And then, you know what's gonna help me decide
What?
if this becomes the most popular episode.
Please.
So you better
have
share
to
with
do,
all your friends.
like a catchy title for this one then.
Oh yeah, you have one for me?
I don't. I need to. I'm not creative in this kind of things.
Okay.
But crazy cat lady related stuff would work, baby.
What the hell did you just say?
No, I have no idea. No, not good with this creative stuff.
Okay, maybe this is gonna help you. It's a question I should have asked.
Yes.
If I were to write a book about you, what would be its title? Oh, you don't think about this.
Oh, it's gonna take a while for me to figure it out.
Go your guts.
Something with adventure for sure.
Adventure?
Yes, because
Okay.
also unpredictability. I don't even know myself sometimes.
Well, there you go. Unpredictable adventures.
Exactly. Amazing. Unpredictable adventures.
Unpredictable Turkish lady.
Yes,
adventures.
adventures. 100%. I surprise myself. I think the listeners and the readers are gonna be surprised as well.
All
Too.
right. Okay. Anything else you want to say? No. This is your last chance.
Should I? Like again,
No, it's up to
anxiety
you.
kicked in.
I'm just joking. You don't
I
have
think I
to.
talked a lot, so no.
Okay. Anything you want to promote? That's up to you.
No, I'm not doing anything.
Okay. And that's it for this episode of Tales to Tell. This is our inaugural and dare I say pilot season for the show. If you like this podcast and would like to help keep the mics on, please consider following, subscribing to this show on your favorite podcast platform, and sharing with friends and family. Your support is greatly appreciated. Just FYI, we'll be on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. And of course, if you have any feedback to help to make the show better, please leave them in the comment section or reach out to us via social channels. Mainly, you can follow at talestoTell.podcast on Instagram to get updates and behind the scenes of this show. If you want to follow my personal adventures, find me at davidliu.17. As always, I hope you all stay safe and always be kind to each other. I'm your host, David Liu, and I will see you next time.
Bye.
Hey, you're not allowed to cough.
You need to cut this part out. Right.